I was really curious as to what would happen with the Wileyfox handsets after the Cyanogen fiasco at the end of 2016, when the OS company withdrew from the market and abandoned, well, just about everyone. Happily, you saw part of the answer in the previous phone show 314, in which I gave you a detailed look at Lineage OS, i.e. what happened to the Cyanogen mod source code. The other part of the answer is that Wileyfox reverted all their handsets to the stock build of Android here. It's not Cyanogen, it's not Lineage, it's just AOSP plus the Google apps and then some tweaks to the launcher and settings, plus an extra few apps, of which more later. Not a huge deal overall, and the transition from Cyanogen has been far smoother than I'd have guessed. I'd challenge any regular users to notice any difference. And this, by the way, is the newish Swift 2X, the current top of the line for Wileyfox. I covered the Wileyfox Swift 2 Plus and Phone Show 295 last year, so I won't go into massive detail here. It's slightly smaller than last year's 5.5-inch screen Spark X, but has more modern internals, and the 5.2-inch display here very much hits the sweet spot in terms of physicality. I can get my fingers right round the 2X and hold it comfortably. Yes, the bottom bezel's a little on the large side, but such eccentricities can be forgiven at this price point, just over £200 in the UK. Plus, it's not physically larger than the 5-inch screen Swift 2 Plus, so we are going in the right direction in terms of bezels. Periodic offers become important down at this pricing level, of course, when you're trying to source a great smartphone for not very much money. So spotting it at less than £200 is a big psychological boost in terms of buying. Watch out for those offers. Going back to that Swift 2 Plus comparison, the Swift 2X has a higher resolution screen, 1080p. Really, really crisp on LCD at 5.2 inches here. I challenge anyone to spot the pixels. The panel reminded me a lot of that in the old Nexus 5. I know that's old, but as a compliment, I loved the Nexus 5, and this works just as well. Again, compared to the 2 Plus, there's also 300 mAh more battery in the Swift 2X at 3010 mAh, backed up by the same USB Type-C and Quick Charge 3.0 fast charging. If you grab yourself a compatible charger, you don't get one in the box at this price. The camera's better too, thanks to a comprehensive set of modes, including OptiZoom, leveraging the Qualcomm Snapdragon 430 chipset to combine multiple exposures to obtain more detail when zoomed. Ditto Chroma Flash for more balanced LED flash shots. The Swift 2 Plus camera was already pretty good, using a Samsung ISOCELL sensor, and it's made better and more flexible here. See the example photos in this section in all light conditions. Certainly the Swift 2X camera performs better than the average budget phone camera. It's only one notch really under flagships most of the time. Oddly, the camera UI glitch from the Swift 2 Plus is still here. You only get the full resolution in 4:3 mode. Switching to shooting snaps in 16:9, you're down to 8 megapixels. And we're not talking Nokia-esque oversampling. Anyway, just stick to 4:3. 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of storage plus microSD are the same as in the Swift 2 Plus, and still generous in the budget phone world. One continued oddity is that the primary SIM slot is micro SIM, not nano SIM, so you may need a fiddly SIM adapter. There is a second nano SIM slot, but then you have to give up the micro SD facility, all very odd. Most of all though, the HTC-like design with curved aluminium back and sloped straight edges is utterly premium. I guarantee you could hand the Swift 2X to a casual phone user and tell them it was a £500 flagship just purchased, and I reckon no one would spot the white lie. The fingerprint sensor powers on and authenticates in well under a second, and there's NFC under the hood. Also at this price, you even get Android Pay pre-installed. Remind me again why people spend £600 plus on flagships. As with other overperforming budget smartphones, it's spotting the compromises and catches. That's the trick here, for me at least. The Snapdragon 430 chipset does perfectly well here with stock Android. It's noticeable it's not quite as lightning fast as my Pixel and Axon 7 devices, but that's only with a practiced eye. Even the toughest action games play fluently, with just a slightly longer startup time, the only evidence of a lower end chipset. The biggest emission for me is 5 GHz Wi-Fi, i.e. AC, omitted for licensing reasons apparently, and it's unusual to see an otherwise premium feeling phone restricted to using the old 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi band. Still, 99% of home routers still use 2.4 GHz. They're still compatible, so it's unlikely to be an issue for anyone. Then there's the mono speaker down the bottom. It's, well, average as usual, not particularly loud, not particularly high quality. Here's a demo. Believe it or not, proving I'm down with the cool kids. This is Justin Bieber. I think even a teenager might get fed up with music played on that speaker. Despite the space available at the bottom, by the way, that overlarge bottom bezel, you'd have thought they could have fitted in a bigger, better component. But again, remember the price point. But that's it really. The rest is a pure Android 7.1.2 smartphone with decently up-to-date security patches. June 2017 here, so around a month behind the Google Pixels. You even get Google Assistant from day one. I'll say that again, you even get Google Assistant out of the box. This isn't yet on many £500 smartphones. Wow. The software extras referred to earlier comprise the Wileyfox Zen newsfeed aggregator off to the left of the home screen. Thankfully, it's easy to block news sources which you don't particularly like. Begone tabloids in my case. I want news and not gossip. And it's also trivial just to turn off the Zen altogether, not least because it includes paid ads which immediately rankle. And at the same time, you can fiddle with the launcher settings for icons and layout, tweak it as you want. And then there's the replacement of Android's phone app with Truecaller. Now, this is somewhat controversial, as the latter is arguably massively over the top for somebody who just wants to make phone calls. But it does work and opens up a new world of spam blocking, including for SMS and call identification, all to casual Android users. So why the heck not? There's also screen recorder, sound recorder, possibly from the Cyanogen days, plus FM radio, also with a built-in recorder. Something of a theme here? Look, you cannot argue with the Swift 2X from Wileyfox, even at its full RRP of £220. It's well designed, it feels premium, it's bang up to date, it's Android how Google likes it, the screen is gorgeous and components are generally good. And finally, it's great to see a British company giving the likes of Huawei's Honor and Lenovo's Motorola a very serious run for their money and their market share.